We're a little behind schedule, but first of all, welcome. I apologize for all the back and forth. Plans seem to change on a minute basis lately. Every time I stepped outside, there was a giant black cloud staring me in the face, and it decided it wanted to rain every time I was outside. So I held off as long as I possibly could. I'm sorry if it was an inconvenience, but as I look around, I'm starting to see some smiles, I'm starting to see some faces. It's awesome. So welcome. Thank you. So first of all, I'm just going to start with some thank yous. First of all, we want to thank the Board of Education for approving our sports seasons. Without their support at the district level, none of this would have been possible. And so I think they deserve a round of applause. The district and the building administration integral into our support in trying to advocate for interscholastic sports and extracurricular activities, allowing us to take advantage of the facilities after hours when we still had a lot of restrictions when it came to the regular school day, allowing us to have a little flexibility in the afternoon with our offerings was great and a huge piece to our success with this. Again, I'm looking at a lot of faces that we had to administer thousands and thousands of tests to our athletes. And so Christy Tracy and her nursing staff, again, I think they deserve an individual round of applause for all of us. And then everyone up here, if all the coaches could please stand up. Started to roll things out. I went to a meeting in the cafeteria with our fall one coaches, and I had 5-gallon buckets with hand sanitizer, spray, washcloths, mats, and they're looking at me like I'm crazy. They had to go above and beyond with what their normal responsibilities and routines were to ensure that we were following protocols, that we weren't going to get paid, and that we were able to make it through our seasons, which we were very successful in everything that we did. One of the few schools that did not have to really shut down at all. So a lot of thanks to our coaches for everything that they did. Lastly, parents and students and athletes alike. This was a team effort. So I thank you for your support, your appreciation, your patience above everything. I know some of the decisions that we had to make were not ideal, but eventually we worked together to overcome, and we'll talk more about some of our successes, but we saw 3 Section 2 champions be crowned this year, so that is an amazing feat in itself. So with that, I am going to turn it over to our superintendent, Ms. Christine Moore, for a message.
Good evening. I remember being here when it's been extremely hot, so I'm going to keep my fingers crossed that this is the first time I've been in the auditorium for anything with the hopes that the AC will turn on from our building project. So I hope that goes well. For those of you that were here last evening, I made the unfortunate promise that we would be outside, there was going to be no rain. This year has been a very interesting year. At times I felt like a nurse. At other times people were asking me questions like I was a doctor. There were very few times when I actually thought I was a superintendent with some of the things that I was discussing. And last night I tried to be a weatherman. I can definitely tell you that I will never be a weatherman, or maybe I will because they always get it wrong. And I guess maybe that was the best thing I did was get the weather wrong this evening. It is really great to be here with all of you. It's great to see your faces. I'm not breaking any rules by doing this. I always want to state that piece. I try not to be a rebel too often in this role because it only kicks you in the butt a little bit in the end. Each Friday, the superintendents meet with the Department of Health, and this is a very hot week. And heat exhaustion and heat stroke are real, and the masks added to that make it even more dangerous. So as we said this evening, and you got to hear from the mask police when you came in, Abby and Paul Wells, that masks were optional. So I felt really good that the mask people were the ones telling all of the people that it was optional tonight. So that's why we are so glad to see all of you in this setting with no masks. It really is great to be here with all of you. I want to take a moment for thanking you for bearing with us this year. I know that this year was not easy, but because of your students' commitment and flexibility, we were able to have the majority of our athletics this year for our seniors. Please know that was always our goal. For our younger athletes, we are committed to bringing back every sport at every level next year. We proved that we can do it. We have 13 scholar athlete teams this year. 13 in a year where we had to do hybrid learning every single day and even close down the building in the winter. To me, this is one of the most amazing accomplishments this year. Hybrid learning is not easy. It's a struggle to juggle in-person responsibilities and logging on when you're home. Based on this stat and the averages of our teams, I'm so impressed with your commitment to your athletics and your academics. Let me share all of them with you now. 61% of our SGF varsity student athletes were New York State public high school scholar athletes. 57% of SGF eligible varsity programs were also scholar teams. For Fall 1, please, Mr. Grief, let's hope we never have to say Fall 1 and Fall 2 ever again. For Fall 1, 30 varsity scholar athletes. Girls tennis had a 94 grade point average. Girls cross country had a 93.5 grade point average. Boys cross country, 92. Golf, 92.38. Mr. Grief likes to go to the nearest 100, not to round up. I think it's a 92.4. Winter, 36 varsity scholar athletes. Girls basketball, the average was a 94.63 GPA. Boys basketball, 94.22. Boys swim and dive, 92.4. Girls cheer, 91.22. Fall 2, 80 varsity scholar athletes. Girls soccer, 93.86. Field hockey, 92.21. Spring, 75 scholar athletes. Softball, 95.67. Girls lacrosse, 95.58. Boys tennis, 94.4. If you were a scholar athlete or you are a part of any of those teams I just mentioned, please stand. Moving forward, committed to bring back as many things as possible to our students. When we listen to the media, we constantly hear about academic loss in schools. For me, when I think about this year, the loss I feel are in the connections we make with each other, the fun we have not only during school, but after school hours that we may have missed. So the very first thing we want to give back is this. Each school was given stimulus money from the federal government. We will be using this money this summer to provide free opportunities for our students. If you have not done so already, please take a look at the Athletic Summer Opportunities Handbook and also our summer enrichment programs. We want to have as many students participate in these programs as possible. We want to reconnect and to re-engage all of you at every level. We want to see your maskless faces and smiles. We are committed to this for the next few summers. To the seniors here, for some of you, this may be the last time you play competitively. For others, you'll be playing in college. I wish you the best of luck in whatever path you choose. You made it through this challenging year with no playbook to follow. I have no doubt that you will make it through whatever life throws your way. There are a couple seniors sitting out there that I've known since birth. I am so proud of you and what you have accomplished. You are role models for my daughter and for all other younger students. We will miss you. Students, please join me in thanking your parents for all they have done this season and throughout your years. Thank you so much for sticking with us, even when we know you had to question some of the things we had to do. Enjoy the night.
Thank you, Ms. Moore. Next up, high school principal, Mr. Pico.
Good evening. So this was a year for me where I think I'm at a point now where literally nothing can surprise me anymore. That if Mr. Belknap came in the building tomorrow and told me seniors were dangling from the ceiling of the auditorium, okay, let's just move on with that and make it a part of the new thing that we do. That's just how I did it, right? So I watched the picture and I actually looked on cameras to try and find out when it was, but we don't go back far enough. One evening, about 8, maybe 8:30 or so, in the wintertime, came walking out after finishing up here, and I walked into the back parking lot, and I saw our varsity roller hockey team playing in the back lot. And I looked and I saw them in action, and I got the nets set up, and they're going at it, and as I'm walking to my car, I'm thinking to myself, I didn't know we had a varsity roller hockey team. That's probably a thing. So I grabbed the handle of my car, and I hear a couple of bodies collide. And I'm looking over the hood of it, and I'm going, can I just believe it's a thing? Or is this probably not a thing? So I, of course, call Mr. Greek, because maybe the ice hockey team couldn't get ice time, so they're just using my back parking lot at 8:30 at night. Or maybe we do have a, so I call, and of course, there's, Mr. Greek is, I think, juggling both of his sons. Because he's never home, so his wife just hands him off when he actually does show up at the house. Hey, he's yours now. Enjoy. Which is also why I was here at 8:30, because I got 3 kids at home and I don't want anything to do with that. So I say, I don't get an answer for him, so I realize that I have to go over and address this. So I go wandering over, and the boys see me coming, and kind of, hey, Mr. Wonder, what's going on? Nothing's going on. We're just like, Nate Scrincio, I think you were there. Reynolds, I think you were in that mix. Pickford, I just saw a mullet out of the back of the head. I thought I'm sure you were part of that crew. And Christian Paris, I know you were there because I asked if your ice rink was done. And if so, would you just go over to the Paris house and sit there? They have liability insurance, I'm sure. So, I had a quick conversation with the boys who, of course, like, what? I didn't know we couldn't just organize random full contact roller hockey in the back parking lot. That seems like a legit thing to me. In the year of COVID, it seemed like a legit thing to me, too. So I just said, hey, guys, where did you get the goal, the legit goals? We had a truck, we brought the goals in. Like, how do you not respect the commitment, right? So in any event, that's a great, fantastic, moving along. So, and really, to be totally honest with you, I just trusted that they left, and I got in my car, and I didn't even look at in the rearview mirror. I just sauntered on my way and just assumed that, they quickly made it out of the back parking lot, and I didn't see any broken wrists on the injury report the next day, so I'm assuming all was fine. It was then, really, as I was driving home, after I pointedly decided not to bring this up to Ms. Orr, that it dawned on me at that point how much I had been missing watching our teams compete. And how deeply I miss seeing red, white, and blue jerseys, getting after it on the field and on the court, on the mat, on the course, in the lane, on the track, around the track. And I had been missing it a lot since we shut down last year. We have all had time to think about what we've lost during this pandemic, but I constantly find myself thinking about what I've gained. Perspective, appreciation, priority. It's easy to take things in life for granted. I've always looked forward to watching our teams in action, and I try hard to make it to games and competitions for every team, every single year. And just because this is the time to be kind of open, because we're laying it all on the line in the year of COVID, something you may not know, there is a significant high school principal smack talk network. Right? And it's athletes here, some athletes here will back me up. If I know we have a big game coming up against a school where I know the principal, I will ask if they step it up, because I have every intention of contacting that principal and telling them how we're going to smack their team around. Right? And then I need to make sure that and I'm a Mets fan, so I never get to do that. Right? So I'm a very, very competitive guy. So as a competitive person, I was really surprised how little scores meant to me this year. Like, I expected to be, and really, I saw as soon as that you took the field, like, I love watching you play, I love watching you compete, right? But just seeing you being able to do it moved me in ways that I didn't anticipate. I am so grateful to Mr. Grief, to the rest of the Foothills Council, Section 2 in New York State, for finding a way to make these seasons happen. I will never forget having to stick my head out of the window of the press box during a girls' soccer game this spring, because Mr. Wexler and I couldn't tell if the white ball went in the white goal with a field covered in white snow. And I literally had to reach my head up, was that a score? And some parent, whoever you were, if you're here, thank you very much. Yes, Mr. Smody, that was a score. I only asked because it was us, and I wanted to make sure, dang, we got one. All right, but just like those type of things, I'll tell you, it was an adventure all spring, and I know it was very different, but after seeing what our spring was like last year, I sure am glad and appreciative that you had a chance to have the adventure that it was. Please know that while your successes in competition do indeed make me proud, and I had a lot of opportunity to be proud of you this spring, it's always been how you conduct yourself during those competitions that make me proudest. Leaving it all on the playing field isn't just a method to be successful as athletes, but one that will make you successful in life. It seems to me that you've been preparing yourself for that very character trait based on what I've seen this year and from our upperclassmen over the last several years. I want to offer you my congratulations on another great year of South Glens Falls athletics, even if it was the most unusual of any I have seen in my lifetime. You have my appreciation for how you represent our school, and I'd like to give my thanks to your families and your coaches, as well as our athletic director, Mr. Matt Grief, for all their support in helping you grow into who you are as individuals, as well as our superintendent, Ms. Orr, who supported getting you back to competing as soon as it could be possibly done safely. I will tell you, not every athletic director nor superintendent in our region felt this way, and they did, and I am so very grateful that we have the two of them that made sure this happened for us. The underclassmen, I cannot wait to see you get after it starting this fall, especially because I'll be able to see your faces and then be able to congratulate you because I'll know who's doing what. And to our seniors, thank you for all you have done for our school over the past 4 years. How you've made me proud to be a Bulldog, and I want to wish you the best of the luck in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Modi. So, as we went on through the season, slowly started to open things back up. And some teams were able to receive some treatments that others did not. And so we want to be able to honor those that missed out on their senior nights. So if I could have the following individuals stand. Actually, I want you to come up front, that way mom and dad can take a picture. So the cross-country seniors, I would like Jocelyn Bufard, Andrea Stefano, Autumn Mohanlal, Claire Snowball, Cohen Leninger, and Eden Taylor. Please come up to the front. This one's going to take a quick photo of you guys. So they were part of the fall one season, and that was the season that we did not allow spectators to come and visit. And out of an abundance of caution, we put the pause button on everything that was not deemed necessary to the function of the activity. As we went on, we were able to open it up, but these individuals worked hard. They were our baseline. They were our baseline for success for the future season. So I think they deserve a round of applause for their hard work. Next up, golf seniors. Willis Pickford, Zach Buser, and Cameron Darrell. So I was up at the course when these guys were getting their pictures taken, and to see them out in the open on a green, spread out in every nook and cranny with their masks on, it was a very odd sight to see. And it's nice to actually see their faces tonight. So congratulations on a very successful golf season. Thank you. Next up, girls tennis. Grace Alhamdi, Jessica Betts, Jessica Freiberger, Malia Kirk, Adeline McDonough, Isabella Alden, and Laura Willis. So once again, another great season. I think Mr. Cronin did a little something within the team before a match, but again, not having spectators, the parents themselves, so we want to give you the opportunity. Once again, congratulations on a successful fall one season. Thank you. Girls swim and dive seniors. Faith Holcomb, Audrey Mohanlal, and Destiny Somerville. So once again, I think Coach Lee and Bruno, this was fall through season. So we were able to actually do some senior night stuff, but again, since it was indoors, we were not able to allow parents to attend that. So we did send a cameraman over there to try and capture the moments, but again, thank you for your hard work in the fall through season. Next, our ice hockey seniors, Willis Pickford, William Cormie, Christian Harris, Eric Reynolds, Nathan Corincio, and Tyler Woody. So here are your senior leaders of Capital District Hockey, High School Hockey League, Section 2 champions. So to say that it was a successful season is a huge understatement. So thank you fellas for sticking with it and seeing it through to the end. Last but not least, we have our boys swim and dive seniors. Peyton Humphrey, Ryan King, Cohen Leninger, Josh Sanders, and Avery Willis. So these gentlemen probably had the most trying season as it took place in the winter. And being in a merger is difficult because it's not dictated by your school, it is also dictated by your partnership. And, we had to pause at one point in the wintertime, and Husky Falls had to pause at one. It was a very segmented season, but, they stuck with it. They were able to get their meets in, and they were able to participate in the championship. So, thank you for your ambition and motivation. Alrighty, next up, we're going to do our 4-year participation award. What we would like to happen is when your name is called, if you could come up by the flag over here on the left, and then collect your flag from Mr. Pete Modi and Coach Don DeLisle, and then you can come, you can pause in front of the Bulldog scores table, exit this way, and return back to your seat. So, we will start with our 4-year letter recipients. With the ladies, Grace Elheim, Amanda Zagami. Rachel Casino. Jessica Betts. Jocelyn Bufard. Hannah Green. Haley Green. Olivia Chase. Andrea Stefano. Paige Donato. Faith Cohen. Demi Kellogg. Ginger Cohen. Vanessa LeBrun. Christine Millett. Haley Marsh. Autumn Mohan Long. Taylor Austrian. Sarah Perez. And you're going to have to tell me all of this. I've never been able to pronounce your name correct. Lina? Linnea, I'm so sorry. Molly Rafferty. Trinity Rich. Maddie Green. Courtney Rivard. Brooke Ruby. Arden Sutherland. Kate Sperry. Destiny Somerville. Maddie Walter. Laura Nichols. Congratulations to our lady 4-year recipients. Next up, for boys, we'll start with Jake Day. Will Pickford. Zachary Boozer. Logan Carruthers. Lucas Cochran. William Cormier. Cameron Darrow. Jake Hall. Miles Hogan. Xander Hogan. Peyton Humphrey. Humphreys. Ryan Dean. Dalton Jones. Cohen Leninger. Justin Nesbitt. Sean Oyster. Christian Prevos. Christian Paris. Next up is Tommy Prevos. Eric Reynolds. Josh Sanders. Nate Scarincio. Grant Trufelt. Aiden Taylor. Colin Van Wagner. Tyler Whittington. Avery Willis. And Cameron Woodard. Our 4-year boys participants a round of applause. All right. For our first MVP award nomination, I'm going to call up Coach Maria Whitney for girls cross country.
I'd like to call on our girls MVP from the fall 1 season, Marissa Cohen. Marissa was our lead runner all season. She put in so many miles over the summer when we could not train together, and the dedication that she has shown is something that is definitely not unnoticed. So we thank you for everything. She was our top runner. She scored first in 4 of our meets, and we look forward to having her back next fall.
Introducing the boys cross country MVP, Coach Steve Oscar.
Let's go Cohen Leninger. Cohen was a 4-year varsity athlete. He was our top runner on our team. He finished first place in 6 of 9 races. He earned first team Foothills All-Star and finished 4th place in our championships. So congratulations.
Introducing our field hockey MVP, Coach Mary Condon.
Our MVP, Lauren Willis, please come on up. And very quickly, before I get to Lauren, as Foothills champs, I think I should give a quick shout out to my other award winners really quickly. Rookie of the Year was 8th grader Lillian Willis. Our defensive player, senior Paige Donato. Our offensive player, sophomore Jillian Willis. Our Stewart Family Award winner was senior Jessica Bass. So I'm going to give them a quick round because they deserve it. Now for our MVP. As a captain on varsity for the past 4 years, Lauren's dedication to and hard work for our South Clinton Falls field hockey has been unwavering. Like no other, I've coached at the varsity level the past 10 years. Statistically, she leads the team in assists and is second on the team for goals scored. which isn't surprising because she's such an unselfish player. She just wants to win. She doesn't care who scores to make that happen. But when we did need a goal or two, Lauren's determination and competitive nature made sure that happened. Her career stats and awards include first team Foothills All-Stars each year on varsity, named New York State Player of the Year for Foothills twice, junior and senior year, Times Union second team All-Star. To finish her career, she is now in the Section 2 field hockey record book for individual goals in a season, twice, goals scored in a career as a midfielder, 50, individual assists in a season, twice, and assists in a career, 44. Lauren's contribution to this team and the program go way beyond any statistic. Her work ethic and leadership will be sorely missed. But most importantly, her friendly, personable, and easygoing personality will also be missed. Her positive energy is contagious, which is no doubt is how she won over the coaching staff at U of Albany, where she will continue her education and play D1 field hockey as well. I'm so excited to watch her compete next year, to see how she will develop, and I'm so proud and so fortunate to have coached her since she was in elementary school. Congratulations to our MVP, Lauren Willis.
Next up, introducing our football MVPs is Coach Matt Howard. Good evening.
It's an honor to introduce these two young men. I say two, I need to say something with that. I hate ties. I hate picking two. I hate co-winners. Funny story, I put some money on France soccer the other day, and they tied Hungary, and I said, why don't you just keep playing? Like, no offense, Philo, Urkel, but I just don't like ties, right? Just like, I want you play the game to win. That's my mindset. But with these two people, you can't pick them. You cannot pick them. I've coached them since 7th grade. They are every coach's dream. They are the sons that every parent would dream of. They represent our community to a T. And I get to coach them again next year. So a big round of applause for Josh Aarons and Trey Marcel.
Next up is our golf MVP. Coach Yeager could not make it here with us tonight, so I'm going to speak on his behalf. So, the golf MVP. The words most valuable player have a tendency to speak for themselves. Willis Pickford, come on down. Will was the team's #1 golfer and entered a very young team that finished third in the 2020 Foothills Golf Tournament. As one of the first sports to receive the green light, Will's leadership and experience paid huge dividends on the course and ensured that the season was completed in its entirety. Will shot 5 rounds of 40 or below, which is considerable. What do you play? 10 matches? So, half his rounds 40 or below, and has previously qualified for the Section 2 golf tournament. Will is going to be attending Hudson Valley Community College next year. Will be a member of their bowling and boys lacrosse team. However, I heard that he has another decision. So, congratulations to his golf. A senior prank on Modi. He was telling us that potentially at least offered the bowl somewhere?
No. It's a $1,500 scholarship for bowling.
Oh, there you go. Well, congratulations. Next up, Coach Steve Philo.
All right, we could have our team MVP, Hannah Green, come on up here, please. Our MVP this year is a three-sport athlete and excels in each and every one of them. And I say three sports because that's what she is, and I think that's very important to be as a high school athlete. We don't have very many three-sport athletes, and Hannah is one of our best. During her soccer career, she's been a team captain, a first-team Floyd Hills Council All-Star, a Section 2 Class A team All-Star, and was a nominee for the New York State Class A All-State team. In addition, she's been a dedicated and committed athlete who is always willing to listen to constructive criticism while continuing to push herself to be a better person and team player. She was a role model on and off the field for our younger players, coaching staff, and soccer program as a whole, and we are very fortunate to have had her as a part of our program for the last 6 years. And we wish you best of luck in your future endeavors. And I'm going to do some double duty here and pinch hit for Coach Burkholz. So if we could have Xander Novak, please come up here, team MVP. This year's team MVP was an offensive threat that led the team in scoring. He tallied 17 goals, which was 55% of the team's total output, and 4 of which were game-winning goals. And since this is the most prestigious award for the boys soccer program, the fact that this player is only a junior should not go unnoticed. This year's team MVP, Xander Novak.
Most valuable swimmers. Both of these ladies seem to practice every day, ready to work hard, no matter what type of day they're having. They both always give 100%. They were great team leaders, great role models as well for the underclassmen, and most of the time they were ready to step up to the challenge to swim the more difficult long-distance events when I needed them to. So please help me congratulate Faith Holcomb and Rosalie Wright.
For girls tennis this year was Olivia Osakovich. Olivia was our #1 singles player all season. She battled each team's very best and did so with grit. Whether she was winning or losing, she always showed true grit and determination. Olivia had an impressive win over Hudson Falls, which helped us secure a higher playoff seed for our Hope Hills tournament, and ultimately a first-round tournament win. She did an excellent job this year. Thank you, Olivia Osakovich. The last of our fall MVPs, Alicia Thomas.
So instead of crowning an MVP this year,
Defensive Player of the Year, and that goes to Taylor Ostrander. And our Offensive Player of the Year is Vanessa LeBrun. Taylor was without a doubt one of the most instrumental athletes on our court this year. She challenged the best hitters in our league and kept us alive in many matches. I have no doubt that if she didn't get her wisdom teeth out next season, we would have many more wins than our record. Congratulations, Taylor. Vanessa was our strongest offensive threat and our finishing hitter. She is the girl you could count on to end a long rally. She is one of the most dynamic hitters I have coached in my career, and she will continue to expand those skills at Castleton University in the fall. Congratulations, Vanessa.
Congratulations to all of our fall MVPs. Another round of applause. So at this time, we have a special recognition. I would like to call the entire field hockey team up to the front of the stage.
Again, what a year. Despite all the challenges the athletes had to overcome, they didn't care. They would do anything they needed to do to have a season. Because this team was so ready to play on March 7th. And unfortunately for Scotia, they were our first victim, and on the road, no less. I was very nervous about that game because we had practiced in a gym for about a week or so, and then we were going to a turf to play our first game. Well, I quickly realized this team is definitely ready to play. We scored quickly and often, shutting them out 5-0, and this team never looked back after that. This group had many team goals to accomplish, and nothing, not COVID protocols, masks, no fans, the weather, or even the field conditions, would get in their way. The determination of this team was unbelievable, and their 13-1 record shows it. They scored 80 goals, which is a lot for field hockey, and mercied several teams, because believe me, we could have scored a lot more than that. I had to switch players around, put my good offensive players in the back, and I had halfbacks who usually don't play a lot scoring goals. So we definitely could have scored a lot more goals. And 68 of those were assisted. A very unselfish team. As I said, they wanted to win. They didn't care who scored. Only allowed 8 goals all season, with 8 shutouts to go along with that. And an 11-game winning streak, which I would have to say is probably the most right now for Southland Falls field hockey. The most exciting win, of course, was against Johnstown in a 3-2 overtime win that had everybody on the edge of their seats. The hard work and the never-give-up mentality won us that game. And just so you know, Johnstown had not lost a football game in, I don't know, how many years, 6 years? So that was even though it was a COVID season, it was a huge win for them. Lucky for me, many of those players will be returning next fall, but unfortunately, not my very important senior trio of Jess, Lauren, and Paige. Wish them well at the next level. I know they'll be great. I also want to mention real quick, too, that this team has also been the scholar athlete team the last 10 years that I've been coaching varsity. I'm just so proud of them. So let me give them a quick shout out here. Caitlin Klotz, 10th grade. Lauren Willis, captain. senior. Nora Tremarchi, 9th grade. Paige Donato, senior. Lillian Willis, 8th grade. Jillian Willis, 10th grade. Natalie Millette, freshman. McKenna Eustace, 10th grade. Emma Martins, 10th grade. Lauren Durfee, freshman. Cadence Madison, 11th grade. Grace Hamill, 11th. Naomi Chavez, 11th. Isabel Stefsik, did I get that one right? 9th. Mia Benacasa, 9th. Jess Betts, senior. Natalie Keegan, 10th grade. Ava Reynolds, 9th. And Emily Goodsill, 11th grade. Congratulations to the 2021 Fall 2 Foothills champs.
Congratulations. Okay, next up, we're moving into our winter sports season. Coach Mhp Will is going to introduce
and Sydney Hart, please. So, Hannah and Sid, we've all watched and admired over the past 4 seasons how your will, grit, and determination has helped build a foundation for our famous programs. You've helped build an approach to the game for our youth coming up through the ranks and an expectation to never settle and always work harder than your opponent. Hannah, this approach has led to a Division II scholarship for softball at the College of St. Rose. And Sid, this approach has already led to recruitment by Division I schools for 2 seasons of Lafayette High School play. When our season began, I challenged Sid and Hannah as our captains to change their games a bit and move more to an attack mindset. The hope was to get higher percentage shots at the rim, not let it die by the 3. They handled the request, and they, along with their teammates, worked tirelessly to get steals in the passing lanes, create more fast break opportunities. They attacked from every angle, penetrated seams, and forcing their feet to the paint. They found a way to bounce off each other every game, and it was beautiful to watch. This mindset led Sid and Hannah to have near identical seasons. They combined for 35 points and 10 steals a game. They scored half their points off turnovers and half their season averages in points per scored for the rim. This is execution at its finest. This is taking on a new role and leading by example. This is setting the tone for our entire program going forward. Great. Congratulations. Thank
you. Next up, boys basketball. Coach Chris.
I want to take a minute to thank Mr. Modi, Mr. Grief, Ms. Orr for making us first over the winter. I think I speak for all the winter coaches where it was extremely exciting to get that call and get started with our teams. I had a very special team this year. I'm thankful for all of them. Our MVP is not with us tonight. He averaged 17 points per game. He was 60% from the field, which led our team. And he averaged 9 rebounds a game. This year's MVP was Cameron Woodard. So Cam, congratulations.
So Cam and his family are watching via the live stream. They are currently out in Colorado. Cam was accepted last night to the Air Force Academy, and they are out there now. So congratulations, Cam. Next up, introducing our bowling MVP, Coach Brandon Pickford.
This year's MVP, Will Pickford. This year, Will had an amazing season. He had 20 games of 250 or better, 13 700s, 1 300, and 2 800s, an 806 and an 834. He was first team All-Star, first team Time Union All-Star, He led Section 2 with a 241 average. He might have led the state with that average. I have to check. And this is the reason why Will Pickford is our MVP.
Introducing our cheerleading MVP, Coach Kathy Potter.
When I met this year's MVP in 8th grade, I knew she was going to be a special athlete. Kind, considerate, smart, and a true leader. She's the kind of kid that others gravitate to. When it comes to cheerleading, she puts 100% dedication to the sport that she loves. It's always cheer first. I've really relied on her for the past 2 years, and I'm really going to miss her next year. Olivia Chase.
Next up, ice hockey, Coach Nick Levine.
Thanks, boys. So for ice hockey, we have both an offensive and a defensive MVP. I had the pleasure of working with both of these individuals for 4 years. For our offensive MVP, in a shortened 9-game season, which includes playoffs, this individual recorded 16 points and was a really strong leader for us both on and off the ice, even organizing unsanctioned sporting events, I'm sure. Nate Cerencio. And for our defensive MVP, this young individual has really grown over the 4 years and really helped anchor us defensively, and is one of the reasons we had a very successful season, and that is Tyler Whittington.
Next up, boys swim and dive, and I will be stepping in for Coach Aldano and Coach Hart. It's time for Avery Willis. Please come forward. Avery from Coach Hart. Avery, sorry I was unable to make it tonight, and sorry I wasn't there for your senior season, however crazy it might have been. But getting to know you over the past 5 years or so, I know this award is going to someone who truly deserves it. Someone who follows my military motto of service before self, as you are always willing to help others to achieve their goals, all while staying focused and working hard on improving yourself, both in the water and in the classroom. Continue to approach life in this way, and you will be successful in anything you end up choosing to do. I am proud to say I was able to be your coach, and your parents can be extremely proud since they have raised such a great individual. Congratulations, and I will be sure to see you before you head off to college. All right, that concludes our winter MVPs. Please give them a round of applause. So once again, we had some special recognitions that came about from some teams. First up, I'm going to reintroduce Coach Mhp Will for girls basketball.
Can I have the girls varsity team up here, please? as you know, we didn't get to play in front of fans this year, so if you guys would do me a favor, everybody just stand up right now. Everybody here, stand up. Come on. Thank you very much. Big round of applause. You have to stay standing. First off, thank you to Superintendent Orr, all our administrators for their support this school year. The past 15 months have been crazy. I'd like to thank 83 for his unwavering support and sacrifices made for the school and its student body, so they were given the opportunity to compete this year. All right, 2 days. That was the amount of time our AD and coaching staff had to prepare for the season. 6 days was the amount of time our athletes had to prepare to put the plan in place. Our 10 student athletes came into every day prepared to work. Our goal was pretty simple: go undefeated, don't settle, don't lose. As Coach Hart always said, team, teammate, self, play for each other, and everything else will fall into place. Well, everything fell into place. The 2021 girls varsity basketball team went 12-0, averaging 70 points a game and holding our opponents to an average of 28 points a game. In 12 games, the Lady Bulldogs rebounded the ball 105 more times than all our opponents combined. In 12 games, the Lady Bulldogs made 60 more assists than all our opponents combined and forced a total of 250 turnovers on the season. The highlight of the season came on Monday, March 2nd. Our team was slated to play Stillwater. Due to COVID protocols, the game was canceled. We were in need of a game, and Amsterdam reached out. Amsterdam was undoubtedly picked to win the Foothills this season with 3 seniors college-bound to play hoops. We won the game 59-48, scoring 24 points off turnovers. In the game, Sid Hart scored 16 points, went 12-13 from the foul line, had 8 rebounds, 6 assists, and 2 steals. Hannah Green scored 26 points, shot 64% from the field, and had 5 steals. And then nobody's going to forget Killian draining 3 clutch 3-pointers. That was pretty cool. I'd like to take a moment to recognize each one of our athletes. Our first-year power forward, freshman Jade Malley. First-year guard, sophomore Mary Fitzsimmons. First-year guard, sophomore Liv Killian. First-year forward center, sophomore Sophia Hallander. Second-year forward, sophomore Kate McDonough. 3.5-year guard, sophomore Sydney Hart. 3-year guard, senior Haley Green. 3rd-year guard forward, senior Molly Rafferty. 3rd-year forward, senior Courtney Robarge. And 4th-year guard, senior Hannah Green.
Congratulations. Next up, bowling, Coach Brandon Pickford.
Come on, guys. This year's team went 68-4. We had an exceptional year. Our top 3 bowlers, Will Pickford, Dalton Jones, and Jacob Hall, were not only the highest average on our team, but they were the highest average in all of Foothills. Last year we had won sectionals, but unfortunately, due to COVID, we weren't able to go. I'm sure we would have been able to repeat and go to states this year had they been. You are looking at the best bowling team ever to come through Sucklands Falls. So I'm going to call roll call here. We got Lauren Willis, Melissa Benson's not here. Maddox McCarthy, Zach LaPointe, Adam LaPointe, Cassie Ogborn, Parker Baker, Chris Sharp, Jacob Hall, Dalton Jones, and Will Pickford.
So I think they deserve another round of applause. They had the pressure. I'm trying to remember, I think they were 4 days out from going to the state tournament in Syracuse, and as Coach said, they had all of their starting lineup returning this year, and the potential for back-to-back state champions was a legitimate possibility. So congratulations. Next up, ice hockey, Coach Nick Levine, and I'm going to do my job and tell all you guys to start walking.
Pickford, how many trips is this for you?
I think this is 6. Seven?
So as some of the boys are coming up, I just want to say I'm going to try as hard as possible not to mention the COVID the entire speech. This will be the only time. Starting out the year, we kind of knew what we had coming into the hockey season. Having a group of freshmen that we've been able to groom for 4 years, all we were asking for was a shot and an opportunity to play and compete on the ice and give these seniors their due. And fortunately, we were able to do that. And for this group right here, we provided the opportunity for them to play, but what they did was truly remarkable. We played 3 games of our season and then were put on a brief hold. And by some stroke of luck or miracle or what have you, at that time, we weren't even going to be eligible for sectionals. And the hold was then lifted, and of our 9 games, we played 6 games in under 10 days. 6 games in under 10 days in a high school varsity sports season in which, other than the unsanctioned roller hockey, these boys really, didn't have a lot going on before. So we feel we were extremely fortunate and lucky, and none of these boys took that opportunity for granted. Coming right out of the gate, we had to obviously win all of the rest of our games to even make playoffs, and not only make playoffs, but then continue the road to a sectional championship. Unfortunately, in one of those games, we lost to, in my opinion, an inferior team. We were up in the game, halfway through the game, and our team struggled because of the new regulations. There's an ice cut halfway through the game, which messes with momentum, timing, all of those other things. And unfortunately, we ended up blowing that lead. And the team was Shenendahoa. And for most of the suburban council teams, they were allowed fans. And for most of the people here, there's 2 rinks that are very difficult to play in. And that is Shenendahoa and Burnt Hills. And then we did our part winning, and we kept winning until the sectional championship game. And we got our chance to redeem ourselves against a team that we kind of let them slip. And what was really nice was they granted us the opportunity to have fans as well. So that win was not only for the team, but the community, and bringing 4 different schools together under one common goal. And I couldn't be prouder of every single gentleman up here on this stage. So congratulations. And Julian.
Congratulations to our winners and boys. Moving on, we are finally in the spring season. First up, baseball, Coach Mike.
trying to see if my MVP is here. Is Dan Cohen here? Oh, Danny, let's go. So, Dan Cohen, MVP of the spring sports baseball team here. He's only a junior, and you're going to hear his name a lot coming up. He already signed a full ride with Yale to play baseball there, so pretty impressive athlete. So I'm not huge on stats, and this season was kind of short, so our stats aren't super impressive, but these are really impressive stats that he had. He pitched 27 innings. He had a 1.28 ERA. He had 40 Ks, and the most impressive part was only had 4 walks. Super impressive. He only allowed 9 hits, and then hitting. He doesn't look like the biggest guy, but he hit some balls in practice that I don't know if they came down yet. He can hit a baseball. He batted .341. He had 17 runs scored, 14 hits, 3 doubles, and 3 triples. So very impressive stats. He made my coaching season very easy because I knew when he was on the mound, we were going to be tough to beat. So Dan Cohen, baseball.
Introducing the girls lacrosse MVP, Coach Don Delon.
Okay, I'd like to call down my MVP, Jessica Best. Jess is a multi-sport athlete here at Southland Falls. She's a huge asset to our team. Her ability to play both offense and defense and transition so quickly in the midfield was a threat to our opponents. And that being said, she was nominated as first team All-Star for Foothills this year. So congratulations on that. She earned more points for us this year. She was also one of our captains. And she was voted by her teammates, and she really did lead on and off the field by example. She has a great sense of humor, and I know that she's going to do great things in whatever she does. And I wish her all the luck as she heads to Hartwick to play field hockey and lacrosse.
Introducing our boys lacrosse MVP, Coach
So it was about midway in the season that Matt Griep sent me an email and said, Coach, we need an MVP from your team. And I immediately texted our assistant coach, Matt Germain, and I said, we got to do awards this year, Coach. And it was a challenge for us. We kind of chuckled about it because our team didn't have any individuals. So when I say this guy's valuable, he must be really valuable. Let me tell you about this player. Right? This player scores 41 goals. Again, we really keep track of him until the end of the season, until we started actually counting. So 41 goals, 32 assists. Most of the time he's looking to assist before taking his shot. And if the assist isn't there, then he figures he'll take the shot and score himself. I want to say this is a record for this program. He accumulated a total of 73 points, which is in a shortened season. So he's a great team player. The biggest thing that stands out about this MVP for boys lacrosse is that this player absolutely hates losing, to a point where I actually worry about him sometimes. Without further ado, the MVP, boys lacrosse, Logan Carruthers.
Next up, softball MVP, Coach Lori Keller.
So nice to see the senior class here because this is the group that when I retired, you guys were 8th graders, so it's interesting to see all the kids pass that I haven't seen in so many years. On such a talented team, it isn't easy to choose a most valuable player. And for the first time in my life, I followed the rules and only picked one, which others didn't.
However, taking myself right now. However, Hannah Breen has proven to be the power pitcher that drives our team. Come on, Hannah. She gives everything she has on the mound and lets our offense score runs. These are Hannah's stats. She's 16-0 on the mound. She threw 103 innings with 201 strikeouts, which is an average of about 12.5 strikeouts per game. She threw 3 perfect games this season, and she has 8 shutouts. And she broke 3 Section 2 records. More impressively, we were in a game that she probably could have had a perfect game in, and I said to her early in the game, like first inning, I'm going to pull you out of this game, and I'm going to put Tori in, and she has to get a little pitching experience here for next year. And there was no thought to whether she would get another perfect game to it. It was just, that's fine, whatever you got to do. She knows her job isn't to do it all herself and depends on the team for the help with these perfect games. In our last game, someone said, don't let them hit the ball, Hannah. And her response was, they're going to hit the ball. Just play some defense to it. She's quick to give credit to her catcher, Debbie Kellogg, and all others who have helped her reach her success. She texts Joe and I with updates on teams and other players and how they're doing. She's almost taken a little bit of a coaching aspect to it. And so she's really raised her mental game too. She's matured into a quiet leader, though her work ethic and lead by example more than vocal leader. SGF will certainly miss her, and we wish her all the success in the world.
She was worried she was going to cry. Next up, boys tennis, Coach Mike St.
Okay, I'm going to call up Cooper Brennan. Okay, Cooper is the MVP of the tennis this year. It is his 3rd year playing for me, his freshman year this year. As a freshman, he went out there. He played our #1 for the singles, which is your top player. He played all year. He defeated almost every player in the Foothills Council. I was questioned multiple times that he's only a freshman, and the answer was, yeah, he's got 3 more years. So I was very proud of him on that. He was officially announced as a all-star for the tennis team this year, so congratulations on that. And we're looking forward to many more good years with the leadership and developing a team that I'm hoping in the future we can make a run at the Foothills title. Congratulations, Cooper.
All right, introducing the girls' track and field MVPs, Coach Tom Hansen.
For track and field, we have 2 most valuable athletes, one for field events and one for running events on the track. So they call up Marissa Cohen, Abby Seaman. Abby was our leading scorer in the field events, one of the top high jumpers and triple jumpers in the Foothills this year. And we look forward to having her back again next year for indoor track and outdoor track. Marissa is also a junior, so as you saw, she was MVP for cross country. And fortunately, she continued to run all winter long and came out and had a great track season. Coach Whitney and I really depended on her to run quite a bit. She started the meet running the 4x800 meter relay, and then about 10 minutes later, she lined up to run a mile, and about 10 minutes later, she lined up to run the 2 mile, And about 5 minutes later, she was anchoring our 4x400 meter relay every meeting. Did a sensational job for us. And you know she's going to be running all summer long, so we look forward to a great cross-country season this fall. So congratulations, David.
Introducing boys track and field coach Tom Lyon.
Thank you. Can I call Lucas Cochran, co-manager, and AJ Lugia. Before I get to talk about these three athletes, I think I want to mention I'm very fortunate, along with 4 other coaches, Paul Stoutinger, Steve Knoftel, Tom Hansen, and Maria Whitney, have a unique opportunity to coach with each other for 3 seasons, cross-country, indoor and outdoor track, and it's unheard of. We don't split the teams as boys and girls necessarily. We team teach and coach with our skill sets, and that's a unique opportunity. So a lot of times I don't get to see some of the other athletes until they get to compete, but you hear stories, and a lot of synergy goes on with our track program. Lucas is a 4-year senior and has scored the most points in all of the meets that we've attended, in all of the throws division. Cohen is an incredible distance runner, and I split both the track and the track events into distance and sprinting events. And Cohen, over the years, I should mention that most of these athletes are more than 4-year athletes in this particular sport, in this discipline. Cohen runs the 4x8, the mile, the 2-mile, 4x4. This year, he and several of the other distance gentlemen decided to compete in high jump as well last minute. And he just ran the steeplechase, the sectionals. I also just reviewed some videotape, and it was 2 years ago they were pole vaulting, so you have a lot to your skill set. And AJ, 9th grader, is our fastest runner and the most points. 9th grader? And we look forward to seeing some more competition for you. So congratulations to all of us.
A round of applause for all our spring MVPs. And at this time, I would like to call the boys baseball team back up to the stage and invite Coach Bruno.
All right, so I'd like to start off by, first, I was very surprised with not the scholar athlete team. I had to check that because there was on one point I was pitching batting practice, and these guys are fighting over SAT scores. And I've never heard that before in practice in my life. And I had to turn around like, are they really talking about SAT scores right now? They take a couple guys that have missed practice because of AP exams and things like that. So this group's a very smart group of boys. That's what originally caught my eye. So, with that being said, this group, and I tried to find stats on baseball. There's not a ton out there, but we did win the Foothills Championship this year, and I believe it was the first time since 2008 Southlands Falls won Foothills Championship. So that was pretty impressive with these guys. They went 12-1, and our one loss was in extra innings to Queensbury. So we almost swept the league. So that was pretty impressive. They were not a very flashy group. We didn't do a lot of things that were flashy that stuck out, but the part about this group is everybody on this team contributed at some point. It was really impressive. We really used everybody at some point in some game to help us win a game. We started out our first game, and this is my first year coaching. Actually, last year would have been with COVID. I made cuts, and the next day, my first time I've ever had to make cuts, and the next day, COVID hit. And I was like, I wish I didn't make cuts because that was difficult. But, so this year was my first year coaching the team. And our very first game, we started off the very first inning of our season with 4 straight doubles. I said, my coaching's done, I can just sit back and relax. It's pretty easy. So that's how we started our season off, and it was very fun. And it really didn't stop from there. We didn't have, I don't think we ever had a time in the season where we were all fully at full go, but throughout the season we had waves where people would step up while other people were struggling. That's what made this team very impressive. Our last 4 games, we had 3 shutouts of our last 4 games. We shut out 3 of the 4 teams, which was impressive too. Our pitching was unbelievable this year. And I mentioned Danny Cohen earlier, but our whole pitching staff in general was really our strong part of our team. And the one part about this team that, besides stats and things like that, is just the makeup of this team. They were one of the most impressive teams I've ever coached as far as attitudes. I'm coming from a different school. I'm sprinting to get here. And I told these guys, please, do what you got to do before I get here. Don't get in trouble. And they were always on task. I never had to say one word to them all season. They were the most polite kids, most respectful kids. And we went against teams that were chirpy. And these guys kept their mouths shut and stayed to task, which was one of the most impressive things for me. The other day in the car, I was talking with my son, and I said, I'm sorry, but I missed a lot of your baseball games this year. And his response to me was, I don't care because I love this team. So that right there lets you know what this team's made of right there. For my son to say that. So let me go through the names real quick because I forgot to do that part. So Josh Aarons is 11th grader. Carter Chapman's an 11th grader. Dan Cohen, 11th grader. Cam Darrow, a senior. Ethan Darrow, an 11th grader. Cam Fougere, an 11th grader. Caden French, an 11th grader. Garrett Goldwyn, a senior. Miles Hogan, a senior. Nolan Kurtz, a junior. John Millington, a senior. Justin Nesbitt, a senior. Brandon Stinson, a junior. Jack Van Wee, a senior. Ty Whittington, a senior. And Cam Woodard, a senior. So that's our...
Congrats to the baseball teams. Next up, Coach Comstock. Now we have
Come on up, boys. One of my takeaways this evening is that I was not invited to that roller derby or roller hockey. What exactly does that look like? Scorancio? Hockey, roller hockey. I tell you, what an amazing group of young men. It's interesting to be a varsity coach and not have relationships with all of your players because you haven't coached them. And that's kind of weird. Right? It's not my first year, it's not my first rodeo. So for me to step in after a long wait and work with a group this talented, this committed, this strong, this fast, this skilled. True story, I walked away after the first practice and I said, wow, these guys are really good. And I just sat there in the parking lot like I did after lots of games that we beat our opponents by a lot. And I just sat there and shook my head like, wow. These guys are really good. And, the word that maybe sums up this season is historic. It was an absolutely historic season. Let me tell you why. These young men here compiled an overall record of 12-1. Our only loss came to a suburban school versus Saratoga, which was the day after beating that school to the north that starts with the letter Q. So we went back-to-back days with 2 big games, and Saratoga beat us. And that's the only blemish on the record. Foothills. We ran the Foothills like it was our own. The guys went 10-0, and most of those games were over in the first quarter. They really were. It actually got to a point in our season multiple times where I started to feel bad for the other team. Did you guys feel that way at all?
No.
They did. History, right? A little more history. First time ever, Foothills champions. Again, we had to beat that team with the Q the second time. I think the first time they thought we got lucky after we beat them by 10. Second time, we were up 6-2, I think, at the first quarter, and the guys were already talking about going home. So, 10-0 in Foothills. Highlight of the season, I don't know if you guys heard about the big game last week. There's this thing called the internet. It's got some pictures on it and stuff like that. You should check it out. But, we played a LaSalle team that was talented. They have Division I committed athletes. But what makes these guys different is that we don't just have 2 great athletes. There are 20 guys here, whether you're on the field, on the bench, getting crazy. Like, are you kidding me? Our bench was ridiculous. And for some reason, we were capped at 20 players. I don't know why. I don't ask questions. Right? Sorry, Grief. But, everyone was committed, whether on the bench or on the fields. Highlight is beating LaSalle, and you knew it was going to happen, but there would come a game where you weren't up by 10 goals. We talked about this. And the sign of a champion is when you don't beat your opponent by 10, but when you come from behind. So we're down 10-7 in the second half against LaSalle. The boys don't panic. You knew we had to play for four quarters. And Trey Marcel, grinding all season long, does what he does best, and feeds the ball to the hero of the season, Josh Sanders. It was kind of a big goal. He just scored with like 3.5 seconds left. It was all right. And I heard the word community mentioned by a few coaches. That's what it's all about. Like, to see our fans there, girls lacrosse team showing up, to see, I don't know who it was, but I think we kind of had a little mosh pit going on there at the sidelines for a celebration. But just to see that community come together, smile, hug, someone might have cried. I don't know if it was me. Might have been Josh. And just an amazing day, amazing evening. So I really want to thank these guys. For me, it's been a challenge, of course, being a teacher, and we've been grinding here in school, and I know you students are doing the exact same thing. So to finish the season, I think we're the last game played here in the school district. To go out in that way with a 15-14 win in the last 3 seconds is something that is historic, and I'll cherish forever. Other things that I want to mention, I just want to thank my assistant coach, Matt Germain. If Matt Germain can stand up, I appreciate that. He was 12-1 by himself as a coach, right? And that guy was truly dedicated, almost, equally or more so as me, right? So, Coach, thanks a lot. Appreciate that. Names, I guess I'm going to rattle through these guys since some of these guys haven't been recognized maybe this evening. So let's see if I can get my phone here. We've got seniors. There's 12 of them here. Unbelievable crew. So Jacob Ring, senior. Logan Carruthers, senior. Nate Storencio, senior. Richie Anderson, junior. Will Cormy, senior. Orion Delisle, junior. Jaden DeRush, senior. Trey Marcel, junior. Jack Walter, sophomore. Andrew Berger, junior. Josh Sanders, senior. Tyler Carruthers, sophomore. Phil Bigger, senior. Joe Johnson, senior. Carl Lanfear, junior. Willis Pickford, I think you've heard of him before, senior. Addison Willis, sophomore. Nate Vandenberg, senior. And how many lacrosse teams have 2 goalies, right? We talk about having a great team. We had lots of great players, but we even just decided to have 2 goalies as well. So those 2 goalies would be Alex Germain, senior, and Eric Reynolds, senior. So. First time ever, the historic Foothill champions, as well as Section 2 champion boys lacrosse team. Thanks, guys.
All right, at this time I want to call the girls varsity softball team.
This is your 2021 softball team who finished with an undefeated 16-0 season as Foothills and Class A sectional champions. We were very tough on defense, even after replacing a whole new infield. Courtney Robar slid over from second base from her sophomore year to shortstop, which is a very difficult move. And we had our battery of Hannah and Demi, which, if you know what battery means, it's a unit, and they truly are a unit. Demi is Hannah's catcher, and Demi makes Hannah the pitcher she is also, because she's so good at her job back there behind the plate. We had, as tough as we were on defense, we were even tougher on offense, outscoring our opponents 152 runs to 8 runs. Debbie Kellogg hit 3 home runs. Molly Rafferty, Christine Millette, and Hannah Breen had 2 each. Christine, Molly, and Debbie led our offense, and they each batted in the 380 range. Jill Capazuca, Courtney, Hannah, Maddie Ring, and Vanessa all were equally crucial at the plate with several RBIs and game-winning RBIs. And Emma Martins finished the season with 481 batting average, 7 doubles and 3 triples, 20 RBIs. This is an incredible group of girls who are unselfish, hardworking, and a true pleasure to work with. Coach Philo and Coach Collier just told me I'm getting soft over there, but they really are a great group of kids. They all stepped up and played wherever they had to make the season and make this group a cohesive group, a winning group. You don't always get to play the position you want in high school. You get to maybe play it in travel ball, but you don't get to get it in high school when we all come together. I want to thank Joe Capazuca, who I call the best free assistant ever. He loves the game and the kids so much, and has truly given me back the feeling I've always had for coaching. But after 2 years away and being out of the classroom for 4 years, I was worried I was losing that feeling a little bit, and I appreciate him more than he knows for bringing me back to loving it as much as I do. I don't necessarily coach because I love the game as much as I love coaching the kids. And these girls were certainly a pleasure. I want to thank the Southland Falls softball community for their tireless efforts to keep this program on top. They deserve so much credit, all these parents and coaches who develop these players. I really get the privilege to pull them all together when I get them and teach them how to never accept less. That's why when they graduate, they get a t-shirt that says, I survived shift. It's no easy task for the parents or kids. Thank you to Matt Grieve for all his efforts in making this such a special year for some very special girls and a special team. So much fun with the fire trucks and everything, really celebrating them. I'm going to miss these girls so much, and we were on the bus playing songs and we're crying and everybody's so happy, and I just want to say that no matter how many tears we cry, it will only be over losing each other. It'll be that I'll never get to coach this exact group of girls again, but I know that I will always have you forever as my young friends. So thank you.
Congratulations to all our championship teams and the ones that we see for recognitions. It goes without saying, Coach referenced the fire trucks, and a lot of this is not possible without the support of the community. Whether it's Monroe Rec and the flexibility with allowing us to utilize the softball fields, or piling 6 trucks on the side of the road waiting for the bus to come up and take you into town and parade people around like the champions that they are. So I think a round of applause can go to our community. we have 2 scholarship awards that we give out on an annual basis, and they go to 2 individuals that participate in the football program. The first scholarship award is the Scott Francis Memorial Award. At this time, Jay Day, come on up. The Scott Francis Memorial Award goes to an individual who has a love for the sport of football. He is a person who craves competition and finds satisfaction in competing against the best. An individual that embodies hard work and determination. This year's Scott Francis Award recipient possesses all of these stated qualities. He was a hard worker, a tireless competitor, a student of the game, and he brought great enthusiasm and spirit to practices and to the game field. This year's award winner, Jake Woodhead. The next award is the Caleb Lawrence Warrior Award. At this time, Miles Hogan, please come on up. So on February 19, 2019, the South Glens Falls football family lost one of the most tenacious competitors that ever walked the halls of South Glens Falls, Caleb Lawrence. Caleb's personality was infectious and he made those around him better, which is a true mark and character of leadership. The following was a description written by Pat Fish, a teammate of Caleb's. The Caleb Lawrence Warrior Award will go to the SGF football player who most represents these attributes of Caleb. Fearlessness. Caleb was run through a wall for his team. Loyalty. Caleb was a great player on a not very good team, but he understood the importance of commitment. You could always count on him. Tirelessness. Caleb was a key player on both sides of the ball, and everyone knew he was full speed until the final whistle. Genuineness. If Caleb said something to his team, he meant it. While it is impossible to find someone to compare to Caleb Lawrence, these attributes help. However, if there is a player with the ferocity of a warrior and the playfulness of a little kid, that's who this award should go to. Congratulations to Caleb Lawrence Warrior Award. All right, next up, we have the Stewart Family Awards. These awards are for students that do the most to promote their sport. They exemplify what a Bulldog stands for and is the unsung hero of the team. They are often seen sacrificing their time and energy for the best interest of the team and don't seek recognition. However, this award does just that. Congratulations to the following SGF Stewart Family Award recipients on your tireless dedication to your programs. For field hockey, Jessica Betts. Football, Aiden Nickel. Ice hockey, William Forming. Boys lacrosse, Alex Germain. Softball, Alan Ring. Track and field, Ruby. And lastly, volleyball, Cynthia Conlon. So next up, we are going to go into our athletic department, our program-wide awards. So a lot of the recognitions that we have given out so far are team-specific. These award winners were chosen from the entire pool of our student athletes, and so they're considered our special recognition awards. Introducing the first award is Coach Tom Hansen, the Zach Birdman Award.
Zach Bergmeyer was a Southside graduate who was a member of the varsity club. A three-sport athlete in football, wrestling, and track and field. His heart and determination was evident in all that he did. More importantly, She was a good person with a positive outlook and a great sense of humor. Zach was a member of the National Guard in Glens Falls and served in Iraq. Tragically, he passed away shortly after returning from his service in Iraq. Each year, Varsity Club presents a plaque to a graduating senior who has demonstrated these same qualities of heart, determination, and a positive outlook. This year's recipient is Cam Woodard. As you know, Cam's not here, he's in Colorado.
Next up, we have our Senior Scholar Athlete Awards. The Senior Scholar Athlete Awards, these awards are given to a female and male senior athlete who show as much dedication in the classroom as they do to their teams. These next two student athletes truly demonstrate the work ethic required to excel both in the classroom and during competition. Our first recipient, Bianca Will. Bianca is an outstanding student, currently ranks 5th in the class of 2021. Our male recipient is Avery Willis. Avery currently ranks 3rd in the class of 2021. So you may climb the ladder. Take the third. Next up is the Sportsmanship Award, and introducing our female recipient is Coach Tom Salai.
Sportsmanship Award is awarded to a student that represents South Glens Falls through sportsmanship, dedication, class, and respect. This athlete gives their all regardless of the circumstances or situation. This year's female recipient for the Sportsmanship Award is Jessica Betts.
Next up is the Boys Sportsmanship Award. Okay? The definition of sportsmanship includes references to one's conduct as well as respect for the game and the opponent. It also mentions showing grace in both victory and defeat. This year's winner of the Sportsmanship Award sets the standard for all the previous mentioned qualities. He has always presented himself in a way that his coaches and everyone around him could be proud of. Congratulations to this year's male recipient, Christian Paris. Next up, introducing the Bulldog Pride Awards, Coach Steve Philo and Coach Scott Comstock.
Given annually by the Southside coaches, this award is presented to the athlete who best demonstrates leadership, character, commitment, and dedication throughout the athletic seasons. This athlete may not be the best player on the team, but is often the most hardworking individual that comes to practice and contests each and every day with a smile on their face and a love of the game. They also strive to do their personal best, and when constructively criticized by others, they avoid defending or excusing their performance, but rather try to learn and improve for the next time. This award is not only given for hard work and personal improvement, but for a willingness to understand, learn, and enter into a partnership with coaches and teammates in an effort to recognize one's full potential. It is athletes like these who model for us what it truly means to receive praise, adulation, and respect from a coach. This year's recipients of the Bulldog Pride Award are Maddie Walter and Joe Johnson.
Introducing the Bulldog Spirit Award, Coach Mike.
Aiden Taylor, come on up, please. This award will be given to an athlete who goes above and beyond their school in spirit, pride, and effort to show the true spirit of what a Bulldog student athlete should be. Aiden is a 3-sport athlete, a 4-year athlete in each sport, cross-country, indoor and outdoor track. You'll see him at other sporting events, supporting other athletes in other disciplines, and most importantly, in my concern, with the spirit of South High, the South High Marathon Dance has been chosen as a leader and a chairperson for the past 2 years, which embodies all of you in the school spirit that we live on through Southwest Falls. So, for our Spirit Award, Aiden Taylor.
Introducing our final 2 awards of the night. First up, our Girl Female Athletic Excellence Award is going to be presented by Coach Horatio Kelly and Coach Birdman.
It's our honor tonight to present the Athletic Excellence Award. This award is presented to the senior regarded as the Athlete of the Year. We used to call it the Coaches Award. If you ask any SGF alumni what qualifies you, or what qualities are required for this prestigious award, you would hear many different responses because it's changed over the years. Fortunately, both of our ladies encompass all descriptions. As I write this, and I know both these girls so well, I think about all the things that make them the exceptional athletes they are. One of them is self-confidence. They're wonderful kids. They react in unexpected situations with great confidence. They're both very motivated, and their desire to be better than their opponents, as well as to make better their personal best every game. They also have great self-discipline to train daily on their own and often sacrifice social activities for practices. They've both committed to focusing all of their time in all of their sports to make them so successful. They're poised in stressful situations, and both are able to accept criticism in order to improve. They're both resilient. If they've had a bad game, they can tell you they had a bad game, and they're ready to work on what skills they need for the next day. And lastly is humility. You have to have humility to keep that hunger, to keep improving. Both these girls are outstanding candidates for this award, and I'm so proud to offer my congratulations to both of them, but I'll present to Hannah Brady.
And again, I'm so proud to have coached here for as long as I have, and will be missed sorely. Lauren Willis.
Our final award of the night is going to be presented by Coach Brandon Pickford.
So this year's Academic Excellence Award goes to Willis Pickford. Will is a 4-year athlete for golf. This year he played soccer. Is that better? Let's start over. He was a 4-year athlete for golf. He played soccer this year. He was the starting goalie. He was a member of the Section 2 champions for hockey, bowling, and lacrosse. And that's why this year, Will Pickford is our athlete of the year.
One nod I gotta give to Will is I think after crunching all the numbers, he was a 5-sport athlete this year, which is pretty crazy. So, congratulations. So, before I cut you loose, we've taken up 2 hours of your time. We greatly appreciate you taking those 2 hours to spend with us and honor the effort and the time and commitment that everyone has put into this season. On your way out, if you see Mr. Wells or Mrs. Dave, they have a summary pamphlet for you that gives you a breakdown of everything that we went over in honor of you tonight. But in closing, you know, as this year progressed, everybody was asking me, what's the plan? And my response generally was to students, teachers, coaches, parents alike, I don't know. I have no idea. It changes daily. The best we do is keep up with the guidance. And I was definitely tired of saying it. And I know many of you were more than tired of hearing it. Then something happened. An opportunity came about. Right? And with that opportunity, you were able to participate in athletics. And it slowly began to evolve into larger and larger opportunities, whether it was athletics, extracurriculars and clubs. The doors started to open, and when they started to open, they opened fast and furiously. Until finally, we saw not one, not two, but 3 Section 2 varsity champions from South Glens Falls. As we leave here today, I just want to share one thing with many of you. I know many of you are moving on to the next stages in your life. Plans, much like tonight. There a lot of times they're not going to follow suit. They're not going to go according to the way that you had them written up or intended. But with ambition and grit, you can always see that they get back on track. Okay? Flexibility, determination, resilience, the partnerships and the camaraderie that you all forged with your classmates and teammates this year are all things that you embraced, and you did so with grace and dignity. It was amazing to see you all come together this year and truly exemplify what it means to be an SGF holdout. You should all be very, extremely proud of yourselves, of what you all accomplished, and I want to congratulate you once more on all of your achievements. So with that, we have a screen set up in the hallway. You are more than welcome to come up to the front of the auditorium and take some pictures with your friends, families, teammates. With that, I want to thank you, and I wish everyone a fun and relaxing show.